Her dying daughter needed a donor, but the only match was her ex, the billionaire CEO who left her. She stood in the sterile hospital corridor, phone trembling in her hand, staring at the name that had just appeared on the donor match results. 8 years. 8 years of silence, 8 years of raising their daughter alone, and now the only person who could save her child was the man who had walked away without looking back. She dialed the number she swore she'd never call again. He answered on the third ring. "It's me," she said, her voice barely holding together. "I know I have no right to ask. I know you moved on. But our daughter is dying, and you're the only match." There was a long silence on the other end. She could hear his breathing, could almost feel the weight of the years collapsing between them. "Our daughter?" His voice cracked on the word. "I have a daughter?" "You had a choice 8 years ago," she said, tears streaming down her face now. "You chose your empire. But she doesn't have a choice. She's 7 years old, and without a bone marrow transplant, she has 3 months. Maybe less." Another silence. Longer this time. Then 3 words that would change everything. "Tell me where." The girl in the hospital bed had always been small for her age, but the illness had made her look like a sketch half erased. Monitors hushed and blinked in a dim room where daylight seemed reluctant to enter, as if the sun itself could not bear to intrude. Her mother sat straight-backed in the visitor's chair like someone had set her spine with steel and sorrow, knuckles pale on the armrests. The specialist spoke softly, but his words hooked into the room like talons. Rare marker, limited match pool, time shrinking. He watched their faces change and knew he had become a messenger, both necessary and unloved. He did not know he was also a locksmith, turning tumblers in a lock that had rusted 8 years in the dark. The name the database spat back was a ghost, a stone thrown from the past that broke the thin frost covering the surface of a very still lake. The name said money and speed and indifference and a black car that had pulled away one autumn evening and never turned around. The name said he would never pick up, never answer, never return. The name said once upon a time. The name said last chance. Her mother, who had learned to expect nothing and make do with less, placed the paper flat on the kitchen table at home and stared until the letters blurred and intersected into something almost unfamiliar. She said his name once into the empty kitchen and listened to how it sounded in the old house, how it did not echo because echoes need a hollowness to gather in, and there was none left in her anymore. "Marcus," she whispered, just that, just his name, and the walls seemed to lean in closer, as if they too remembered. She picked up her phone, put it down, picked it up again. Her hands were shaking so badly she had to set the phone on the table and press her palms flat against the wood to steady them. She thought about the last time she had seen him, the argument that had stretched into the early hours of the morning, his face lit by the glow of his laptop, eyes bloodshot from another all-nighter. The way he had looked at her when she told him she was pregnant, like she had just announced the end of the world. "I can't do this right now," he had said. "The company is about to go public. I'm this close to everything I've worked for, this close." "And what about us?" she had asked. "What about this baby?" He had stood up, grabbed his keys, and walked to the door. "I never promised you forever. I promised you right now, and right now I have to choose." The door had closed. The car had started. The taillights had disappeared around the corner, and she had stood at the window with her hand on her stomach, understanding for the first time what it meant to be alone. But this was not about her. This was about Lily. Sweet, brave, impossibly funny Lily, who told jokes to the nurses even when the pain made her eyes water. Lily, who Dr. Yu pictures of the sun with a smile too big for its face and taped them to the hospital room walls. Lily, who asked her mother every night if tomorrow would be the day she got to go home. She picked up the phone and dialed. Across the city, where the glass buildings reflect the sky and refuse to admit the ground exists, a man stood in an elevator in a suit tailored to a life he no longer felt part of. Marcus Chen watched his reflection in the steel door become long, then narrow, then a ripple, and thought how success had a way of turning you into your own hall of mirrors. His assistant sent him a message about a board lunch with a foreign fund. His chief of staff mentioned a potential acquisition. His doctor asked if he needed pickup at 8. His phone buzzed with numbers and the weather and congratulations. Then a message arrived with a name attached he had not expected to see again. A name that had once been a shelter, and then a verdict. Elna. He stared at the notification. His thumb hovered over it. The elevator doors opened. People walked past him. The doors closed again. He was still standing there, staring at her name. He opened the message. The words came at him like a fist. Acute myeloid leukemia, bone marrow transplant, rare genetic markers, donor match, your daughter, 3 months, your daughter. He read it again, then again. The elevator moved beneath him, but he could not feel it. He felt the ground reassert itself, asphalt, cracks, the sudden heaviness in the knees when one remembers falling. He had a daughter, 7 years old, dying. His fingers moved before his brain caught up. 3 words. Tell me where. The hospital smelled like lemon disinfectant and overboiled coffee and the breath-holding of strangers. Marcus walked past a playroom with a mural of a son whose smile was generous and a little deranged, the way cheerfulness becomes under fluorescent lighting. He followed the directions he'd been given to the pediatric wing and paused at the threshold of a room where a windless storm had taken up residence. A girl with a buzz of hair and eyes too big lay on the bed, hands folded on the blanket like she was trying to be a good student at an exam nobody had studied for. She was small, so small. Her skin had a translucent quality, like paper held up to light. But her eyes were bright and sharp and watching him with an intensity that made him feel like he was the one being examined. A woman stood and turned, and it was like walking into a room and meeting versions of yourself you had abandoned. Elena, older now, tired in a way that went deeper than sleep could fix, but still her. Still the woman who used to laugh at his terrible jokes and fall asleep on his shoulder during long doctoratives and look at him like he was capable of being more than he believed. They looked at each other without speaking, long enough for memories to start crossing the floor between them. He nodded once, a small bow to the past they shared and the fault line running through it. She nodded back, and a long, slow exhale seemed to leave her body, as if relief had teeth and she had been caught in its bite for days. "Thank you for coming," she said. He understood that he would spend the next many months trying to be worthy of those words, even if he never quite succeeded. The girl, Lily, his daughter, tilted her head and studied him with the kind of focus that made him want to straighten his tie. "You're him," she said, not a question, a statement. "I'm him," Marcus said. His voice sounded strange to his own ears, thin, uncertain. "Mom said you were busy." He flinched. "I was. I'm not anymore. She said you built things, big things, buildings and companies and stuff." "I did. Can you build me a new immune system?" The question landed like a stone in still water. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I'm going to try," he said finally. Lily considered this. Then she smiled. It was a small smile, cautious, but it was there. "Okay." Elena cleared her throat. "Lily, this is Marcus. He's going to talk to the doctors about helping you. Is he going to give me his bone marrow? If he's a match, yes." Lily looked at Marcus again. "Does it hurt?" "I don't know," Marcus said honestly, "but even if it does, I'll do it." "Why?" The question was so simple, so impossible. "Because you're my daughter," he said, "and I should have been here a long time ago." Lily thought about this. Mom says it's never too late to do the right thing. Marcus felt something crack open in his chest. "Your mom is a smart woman." "I know," Lily said. Then she yawned, a huge yawn that seemed too big for her small body. Her eyelids doctor-rooped. Elena moved to the bed, adjusting the blanket, smoothing Lily's hair. "Rest, baby. We'll be right here." "Both of you?" Lily asked, her eyes already closing. Elena glanced at Marcus. He nodded. "Both of us," Elena said. Lily smiled and let sleep take her. Marcus and Elena stood on opposite sides of the bed, watching the rise and fall of Lily's chest, listening to the machines that counted her heartbeats and breaths like a miser counting coins. "We should talk," Elena said quietly. "Outside." They walked to a small waiting area at the end of the hall. It was empty except for a vending machine that hummed like it was trying to remember a song. They sat in plastic chairs that were bolted to the floor, as if the hospital was afraid someone might try to steal hope. "I didn't know," Marcus said. "I swear to God, Elena, I didn't know." "I know. If I had known, would you have stayed?" She asked it without accusation, just curiosity, like she was asking about the weather. He wanted to say yes. He wanted to say he would have doctor-opped everything and been there. But she deserved the truth. "I don't know," he said. "I want to believe I would have. But the man I was then, I'm not sure." She nodded. "At least you're honest." "I tried to find you," he said. "A year after I left, I went back to the apartment. You were gone. I asked around. No one knew where you went. I moved in with my sister, across town. I needed to disappear for a while. Why didn't you tell me? About Lily?" Elena was quiet for a long time. When she spoke, her voice was steady, but her hands were clenched in her lap. "Because you made your choice. You chose your company, your success, your future. And I wasn't going to beg you to choose us. I wasn't going to trap you with a baby you didn't want. I would have wanted her. Would you?" Elena looked at him now, really looked at him. "Or would you have resented us? Resented me for ruining your plans? Resented her for existing?" He had no answer for that, because she was right. The man he had been 8 years ago would have seen a child as an obstacle, a complication, something to be managed or avoided. "I'm not that man anymore," he said. "I hope not," Elena said, "because that man can't help us. We need someone who's willing to show up, not just now, not just for the transplant, but after. Lily's going to need months of recovery, maybe years. She's going to need doctor's appointments and medication and someone to hold her hand when she's scared. Can you do that?" "Yes." "You have a company to run, a life, responsibilities. None of that matters if she dies." Elena's eyes filled with tears. She blinked them back hard. "Don't make promises you can't keep. She's already lost you once. If you walk away again—" "I won't. You don't know that." "You're right," Marcus said. "I don't. But I'm here now, and I'm asking you to let me try." Elena wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "The doctors need to run tests. See if you're a match. It's not guaranteed." "When can we start?" "Tomorrow morning. They'll take blood, run a full panel. If you're a match, they'll schedule the transplant as soon as possible." "Okay." They sat in silence. The vending machine hummed. Somewhere down the hall, a baby cried. A nurse laughed at something someone said. Life continued, indifferent to their small tragedy. "She looks like you," Marcus said. Elena smiled, just a little. "She has your stubbornness. God help her. And your smile. When she really laughs, it's your smile." Marcus felt the crack in his chest widen. "I want to know her. Everything. What she likes, what she's afraid of, her favorite color, her favorite food. I want to know all of it." "Purple," Elena said. "Her favorite color is purple. She likes macaroni and cheese, but only the kind with the powder, not the fancy kind. She's afraid of thunderstorms, but she pretends she's not. She wants to be an artist when she grows up. She doctor-ahs all the time, everywhere, on napkins and receipts and the backs of her homework. She's smart. So smart it scares me sometimes. And she's brave. Braver than I ever was." Marcus listened to every word like it was scripture. "She asks about you sometimes," Elena said. "I told her you were busy, that you had important work. I didn't want her to think you didn't care." "I didn't know I should care," Marcus said. "But I do. I care so much it feels like I can't breathe." Elena looked at him for a long moment. Then she stood. "Come on, let's go back. I don't like leaving her alone for too long." They walked back to Lily's room. She was still asleep, her small chest rising and falling. Marcus stood at the foot of the bed and watched her. His daughter. He had a daughter. The words still felt impossible. Elena sat in the chair beside the bed and picked up a book, a worn paperback with a cracked spine. She opened it and began to read silently. Marcus found another chair and pulled it close. He sat, he watched, he waited, and for the first time in 8 years, he felt like he was exactly where he was supposed to be. The next morning, Marcus arrived at the hospital before the sun had fully committed to the day. He had not slept. He had tried, lying in his penthouse apartment with its floor-to-ceiling windows and its view of the city lights. But every time he closed his eyes, he saw Lily's face, her two big eyes, her small hands folded on the blanket, the way she had asked him if it would hurt. He took the elevator to the 3rd floor and found Elena already awake, sitting in the same chair, the same book in her lap. She looked up when he entered. "You're early," she said. "Couldn't sleep?" "Me neither." Lily was awake too, sitting up in bed, doctoring on a sketch pad. She looked up when Marcus entered and gave him a small wave. "Hi," she said. "Hi," Marcus said. "What are you doctor-awing?" She held up the sketch pad. It was a picture of a bird, a bright purple bird with wings spread wide, flying toward a sun that took up half the page. "It's a phoenix," Lily said. "Mom told me about them. They burn up and then they come back. I like that." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "It's beautiful. You can have it if you want." "Really?" "Yeah, you're going to give me your bone marrow. I should give you something too." Marcus took the doctor-owing carefully, like it was made of glass. "Thank you. I'll keep it forever." Lily smiled. "Forever is a long time." "I know." A nurse came in, cheerful and efficient, and began preparing Lily for the day. Marcus and Elena stepped out into the hallway. "They'll take you down to the lab in about an hour," Elena said. "It's just blood work today. They'll call with the results in a few days. And if I'm a match? Then we schedule the transplant. They'll need to do more tests, make sure you're healthy enough. But if everything checks out, it could happen within a week or two." Marcus nodded. "What are the odds? That I'm a match?" "The doctor said because you're biologically related, the odds are better. Maybe 25%, maybe higher." "And if I'm not?" Elena's face went very still. "Then we keep looking." But they both knew the truth. They were running out of time. The lab was in the basement, a fluorescent bright space that smelled like antiseptic and fear. Marcus sat in a chair while a phlebotomist tied a rubber tourniquet around his arm and tapped his veins. "Make a fist," she said. He did. The needle went in. He watched his blood fill the vial, dark red. He thought about how this blood, his blood, might be the thing that saved Lily, or it might not. It might be useless, incompatible, wrong. "All done," the phlebotomist said, pressing a cotton ball to his arm. "Results in 3 to 5 days." 3 to 5 days. It sounded like a lifetime. He went back upstairs. Lily was eating breakfast, oatmeal that looked like paste. She made a face at it. "It's gross," she said. "Want me to get you something else?" Marcus asked. "They won't let me," Lily said. "I have to eat the hospital food. It's the rules." "Rules are overrated." Elena gave him a look. "Don't teach my daughter to break rules." "Our daughter," Marcus said. The words felt strange in his mouth, new, but right. Elena's expression softened. "Our daughter," Lily looked between them. "Are you guys going to get married?" Marcus choked on air. Elena went very red. "Lily," Elena said, we're not, it's complicated." "That's what adults say when the answer is no, but they don't want to say no," Lily said wisely. Marcus laughed. He couldn't help it. "You're too smart for your own good." "I know," Lily said. "Mom tells me that all the time." The days waiting for the test results were the longest of Marcus's life. He tried to work. He opened his laptop and stared at emails that suddenly seemed meaningless. Quarterly reports, profit margins, acquisition strategies. None of it mattered. None of it had ever mattered. He called his assistant. "Clear my schedule," he said. "For how long?" "Indefinitely." There was a pause. "Sir, you have the board meeting on Thursday, and the investor call on Friday, and the conference in Dubai next month. Cancel all of it." "May I ask why?" "Family emergency." Another pause. "Is everything all right?" "No," Marcus said, "but it will be." He hung up. He closed his laptop. He went back to the hospital. He started spending his days there, in Lily's room, in the waiting area, in the cafeteria that served coffee that tasted like regret. He learned the names of the nurses. Brenda, who always had a joke. Marcus, who hummed while he worked. Teresa, who snuck Lily extra pudding cups when no one was looking. He learned the rhythms of the hospital, the shift changes, the visiting hours, the times when the halls were full of people and the times when they were empty and echoing. He learned how to sit with Elena without the past pressing down on them like a weight. They talked about small things. the weather, a show she was watching, a book he was reading. They did not talk about the 8 years between them, not yet. That conversation was waiting. But for now, they focused on Lily. He learned how to talk to his daughter, how to make her laugh, how to distract her when the nurses came to take blood or adjust her IV. He brought her art supplies, sketch pads and colored pencils and markers that smelled like fruit. He brought her books, chapter books with doctoragons and magic and girls who saved the world. "Read to me," Lily said one afternoon. "You want me to read to you?" "Mom's tired." She fell asleep. Lily pointed to Elna, who was curled up in the chair, her head at an awkward angle. Marcus picked up the book on the nightstand, a fantasy novel with a wizard on the cover. He opened it to the bookmarked page and began to read. His voice was rusty at first, uncertain, but Lily listened with her eyes closed and a small smile on her face, and he kept going. He read until his throat was doctory. He read until Lily fell asleep. He read until Elena woke up and looked at him with an expression he could not name. "You're good at that," she said quietly. "I used to read to my little sister," Marcus said, "before I got too cool for it." "You have a sister?" "Had. She died when I was 16. Car accident." Elena's face filled with sympathy. "I'm sorry. I didn't know. I don't talk about it much." He closed the book. "But I think about her, especially now. She would have loved Lily." "What was her name?" "Sophie. That's a beautiful name." They sat in the quiet. Lily slept. The machines beeped. The world outside the window continued without them. On the third day, Marcus's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. "Mr. Chen." "Yes?" "This is Dr. Patel from the hospital. I have your test results." Marcus's heart stopped. Started again. Stopped. "And?" "You're a match." He closed his eyes. "I'm a match." "Yes, a very good match, actually. We'd like to schedule the transplant as soon as possible. Can you come in tomorrow to discuss the procedure?" Yes, I'll be there." He hung up. He stood in the middle of his apartment, phone in his hand, and felt something like joy and terror collide in his chest. He called Elena. "I'm a match," he said. She made a sound, half sob, half laugh. "You're a match." "I'm a match. Oh my God, Marcus. I'm coming to the hospital. I'll be there in 20 minutes. He grabbed his keys. He ran. When he got to Lily's room, Elena was crying. Lily was sitting up in bed looking confused and hopeful. "Mom, what's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong, baby. Everything's right. Marcus is a match. He can give you the transplant." Lily's eyes went wide. "Really?" Marcus knelt beside the bed. "Really?" Lily threw her arms around his neck. She was so small, so fragile. He held her carefully, like she might break. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." "You don't have to thank me," Marcus said. His voice was thick. "You're my daughter. I'd give you anything." Lily pulled back and looked at him. Her eyes were shining. "Does this mean you're staying?" Marcus looked at Elena. She was watching him, waiting. "Yes," he said. "I'm staying." And for the first time in 8 years, he meant it. If you've ever had to swallow your pride for someone you love, hit that like button. This story is for you. The meeting with Dr. Patel was scheduled for the next morning. Marcus arrived early, as had become his habit. Elena was already there, of course. She was always there. He wondered when she slept. If she slept. Dr. Patel was a small man with kind eyes and hands that moved when he talked, like he was conducting an invisible orchestra. "Thank you both for coming," he said, gesturing to the chairs across from his desk. "I wanted to go over the procedure in detail. Make sure you understand what we're looking at." Marcus and Elena sat. Marcus leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "Tell me everything," he said. Dr. Patel nodded. "The transplant itself is a multi-step process. First, we'll harvest stem cells from your bone marrow. This is done under general anesthesia. We'll make small incisions in your hip bones and extract the marrow with a needle. It's invasive, but relatively safe. You'll be sore for a few days afterward, maybe a week." "That's fine." Before the transplant, Lily will need to undergo conditioning, chemotherapy, and possibly radiation to destroy her existing bone marrow. This will make her extremely vulnerable to infection. She'll need to be in isolation. No visitors except immediate family, and even then, strict protocols. Elena's hand tightened on the armistice. How long will the conditioning take? Marcus asked. About a week. Then we'll do the transplant. It's actually quite simple. We'll infuse your stem cells into Lily's bloodstream through an IV. It looks a lot like a blood transfusion. The cells will travel to her bone marrow, and if all goes well, begin producing new blood cells. If all goes well, Elena repeated. There are risks, Dr. Patel said gently. Infection is the biggest concern. Graft versus host disease, where the new cells attack Lily's body, organ damage, rejection. But Lily is young, strong, and you're a very good match, Mr. Chen. I'm optimistic. When can we start? Marcus asked. We'd like to admit Lily in 3 days, begin conditioning immediately, harvest your marrow 2 days after that, transplant the following day. 3 days. It felt like no time at all. It felt like forever. Okay, Marcus said. Let's do it. Dr. Patel smiled. I'll have my team doctor draw up the consent forms. In the meantime, Mr. Chen, I need you to stay healthy. No getting sick, no risky activities. We need you in peak condition. Understood. They left the office, walked back to Lily's room in silence. When they got there, Lily was awake, doctoring again, always doctoring. What did the doctor say? She asked. Elena sat on the edge of the bed. He said we can do the transplant in a few days. Lily's face lit up. Really? Really? And then I'll get better? Then you'll get better. Lily looked at Marcus. And you'll be here? Every step of the way. Lily grinned. Then her face turned serious. Will it hurt? For you? Marcus thought about lying, thought about telling her it would be easy, but she deserved the truth. Yeah, he said, it'll hurt, but not as much as it would hurt to lose you. Lily considered this. Then she held out her pinky. Pinky promise you won't leave? Marcus linked his pinky with hers. Pinky promise. Okay, Lily settled back against her pillows. I believe you. And Marcus realized that was the most important thing anyone had ever said to him. The next 3 days passed in a blur. Marcus met with his board and told them he was stepping back. Temporarily, he said, though he was not sure he believed it. They were not happy. They talked about optics and investor confidence and quarterly projections. He listened with half an ear and signed the papers that needed signing. He called his lawyer and updated his will. If something went wrong during the procedure, he wanted to make sure Lily and Elena were taken care of. The lawyer asked questions. Marcus gave short answers. When it was done, he felt lighter, like he had been carrying a weight he had not known was there. He went to his apartment and packed a bag, clothes, toiletries, his laptop, though he doubted he would use it. He looked around at the space he had lived in for the past 5 years, the expensive furniture, the art on the walls that he had bought because someone told him it was a good investment, the view that had once made him feel like a king. It all felt empty. He locked the door behind him and did not look back. He checked into a hotel near the hospital, something small and unremarkable. He did not need luxury, he needed proximity. He spent his days with Lily. They played card games. They watched movies on the small TV mounted to the wall. They doctoroo together. Lily tried to teach him how to shade properly. He was terrible at it. She laughed at his attempts. You're really bad at this, she said. I know. It's okay. Not everyone can be an artist. What can I be? Lily thought about it. You can be my dad. Marcus's vision blurred. He blinked hard. Yeah, I can do that. Elena watched them from her chair. She did not say much, but sometimes Marcus would catch her looking at him with an expression that was almost soft, almost forgiving. On the 3rd day, they admitted Lily, moved her to a different room. This one was smaller, sterile. It had an airlock entrance and signs about hand washing and protective equipment. This is where I'll be? Lily asked. Her voice was small. Just for a little while, Elena said, until your body is strong enough. Will you stay with me? Every minute. They got Lily settled. A nurse came in, suited up in a gown and gloves and mask, and started an IV. Lily winced, but did not cry. Marcus wanted to cry for her. You're so brave, he said. I don't feel brave. Bravery isn't about not being scared. It's about being scared and doing it anyway. Lily looked at him. Are you scared? Terrified. Me too. He took her hand, small and warm and alive. We'll be scared together. The conditioning started that evening. Chemotherapy dripped into Lily's veins. She fell asleep quickly. Elena sat beside her holding her other hand. Marcus sat on the opposite side. They did not speak. There was nothing to say. The next day, Lily was sick, violently sick. She threw up until there was nothing left. She cried. She said it hurt. Elena held her hair back and whispered soothing things. Marcus stood uselessly by, wishing he could take the pain for her. "I hate this," Lily sobbed. "I know, baby, I know. I want it to stop. It will. Soon, I promise." But it did not stop. It went on. Day after day. Lily got weaker, thinner. Her skin took on a grayish tint. The light in her eyes dimmed. Marcus had never felt so helpless in his life. On the 5th day, they took him to surgery. He changed into a hospital gown, lay on a table. A nurse started an IV. The anesthesiologist explained what would happen. Marcus barely heard him. "Count backward from 10, the anesthesiologist said. 10, 9, 8. The world went dark. He woke up in pain, a deep, bone-deep ache in his hips. He groaned. "Easy," a nurse said. "Don't try to move too fast." "Did it work?" His voice was hoarse. "The harvest was successful. We got plenty of stem cells. They're prepping them now for Lily's transplant." "When?" "Tomorrow morning." Tomorrow, one more day. He closed his eyes and let the pain medication pull him under. When he woke again, Elena was there, sitting in a chair beside his bed. She looked exhausted. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun. She had dark circles under her eyes. "Hey," he said. "Hey." She smiled. It did not reach her eyes. "How do you feel?" "Like I got hit by a truck." "That's about right. How's Lily?" "Hanging in there. She's asking about you." "Tell her I'm okay." "I will." They sat in silence. Marcus shifted, trying to find a position that did not hurt. There was not one. "Thank you," Elena said quietly. "You don't have to thank me." "Yes, I do. You didn't have to do this. You could have walked away." "No," Marcus said. "I couldn't." Elena looked at him for a long moment. "I believe you." And that, Marcus thought, was a start. The next morning they wheeled Marcus to Lily's room. He was still sore, still moving carefully, but he wanted to be there, needed to be there. Lily was awake. She looked so small in the bed, so fragile. But when she saw him, she smiled. "You did it," she said. "I did it." "Does it hurt?" "A little, but it's worth it." A team of doctors and nurses came in. They brought a bag of stem cells, Marcus's stem cells. It looked unremarkable, just a bag of pinkish fluid. But it held everything. They hooked the bag to Lily's IV, started the infusion, and just like that, it was done. "That's it?" Lily asked. "That's it," Dr. Patel said. "Now we wait." Waiting, Marcus was learning, was the hardest part. Subscribe if you believe some debts can only be paid with sacrifice, because this man is about to learn that the hard way. The first 24 hours after the transplant were the quietest Marcus had ever experienced, not silent. The machines still beeped, the nurses still came and went, but there was a quality to the waiting that felt like holding your breath underwater, knowing you have to surface eventually, but not knowing if you'll make it in time. Lily slept most of the first day. The doctor cooks kept her under, kept the pain at bay. Elena sat in her chair like she had grown roots. Marcus sat in his, hip throbbing, watching the monitors like they held answers written in a language he was still learning to read. "You should go back to your room," Elena said. "Rest, you just had surgery." "I'm fine here." "Marcus, I'm not leaving." She looked at him. Something passed across her face. Not quite forgiveness, not quite trust, but something softer than the wall she had built between them. "Okay," she said. They sat, they waited. On the second day, Lily woke up, groggy, confused. She looked around the room like she was trying to remember where she was. "Mom?" "I'm here, baby." "Did it work?" "It's too early to tell, but the transplant went perfectly. Now your body just needs to accept the new cells." "How long will that take?" "A few weeks, maybe longer." Lily's face fell. "That's forever." "I know it feels that way, but you're doing so good. So good." Lily turned her head and saw Marcus. "You're still here." "Told you I would be." "Your hair's messy." Marcus laughed. It hurt his ribs. "Yeah, I've been sleeping in a chair." "You should go home." "This is home," Marcus said. And he meant it. The days began to blur together. Morning became afternoon, became night, became morning again. Time lost its shape. Marcus learned to sleep in chairs, to eat cafeteria food without tasting it, to wash his face in hospital bathrooms with soap that smelled like industrial lemons. His assistant called. He did not answer. His board chair called. He let it go to voicemail. His doctor ever texted, asking if he needed anything. He replied with a single word. No. He had spent 8 years building an empire, and in the span of 2 weeks he had learned that none of it mattered, not the money, not the power, not the buildings with his name on them. The only thing that mattered was the little girl in the hospital bed who called him Dad when she was half asleep and did not realize she was doing it. On the 5th day, Lily's fever spiked. It came on fast. One moment she was Dr. Awing, the next she was shaking, teeth chattering, skin burning. Elena hit the call button. Nurses flooded in. Dr. Patel appeared. They took Lily's temperature. 1 hun, doctored, and 4. They started her on antibiotics, packed her in ice, monitored her every breath. Marcus stood against the wall, hands clenched into fists, feeling like his heart was trying to punch its way out of his chest. "Is she going to be okay?" he asked. "We're doing everything we can," Dr. Patel said. It was not an answer. It was a placeholder for an answer. Marcus hated it. Elena held Lily's hand. Lily was barely conscious. Her eyes rolled. She mumbled things that did not make sense. "Stay with me, baby," Elena whispered. "Stay with me." Marcus wanted to pray. He had not prayed since he was a child, since his sister died, and he decided that if there was a God, he was not listening. But now, standing in this room, watching his daughter burn, he found himself whispering words he did not know he remembered. "Please, please, please." The fever lasted 6 hours. 6 hours that felt like 6 years. And then, slowly, it broke. Lily's temperature doctor upped. Her eyes cleared. She looked at Elena and said, "I'm thirsty." Elena sobbed. Marcus turned away and pressed his forehead against the wall and shook. "She's okay," a nurse said. "She's okay." But Marcus knew that okay was a relative term. Okay meant alive. It did not mean safe, not yet. Dr. Patel pulled them aside later that evening. "The fever was expected," he said. "Her immune system is almost non-existent right now. Any little infection can become dangerous. We're going to keep her on broad-spectrum antibiotics, monitor her closely, but this is part of the process." "How many more times will this happen?" Elena asked. "I don't know. Every patient is different, but we're watching her, I promise." Promises, Marcus thought, were fragile things, easy to make, hard to keep. But Dr. Patel had kept his so far. So Marcus nodded and said thank you, and went back to Lily's room. She was awake, pale but awake. "That sucked," she said. Marcus laughed. He could not help it. "Yeah, it really did. I don't want to do that again." "Me neither. But I will if I have to, right?" "Right." Lily closed her eyes. "I'm tired of being brave." "Then don't be," Marcus said. "Let us be brave for you." Lily smiled without opening her eyes. "Okay." The second week was harder than the first. Lily had good days and bad days. Days when she could sit up and talk and doctor-awe. Days when she could barely open her eyes. Days when the nausea was so bad she could not keep down water. Days when she cried and said she wanted to go home. Elena never left. She slept in the chair. She ate when the nurses forced her to. She read to Lily. She sang to her. She held her when the pain was too much. Marcus watched her and felt something like awe. This woman, who he had left, who he had hurt, who had every reason to hate him, was the strongest person he had ever known. One night when Lily was finally asleep, Marcus convinced Elena to take a walk, just down the hall, just to stretch her legs. They walked in silence, past other rooms, other families, other tragedies. "How do you do it?" Marcus asked. "Do what?" "Stay so strong." Elena laughed. It was a bitter sound. "I'm not strong. I'm terrified every second of every day. I just don't have the luxury of falling apart." "You should. Fall apart, I mean. I'm here. You can fall apart." She stopped walking, looked at him. "If I fall apart, I don't know if I'll be able to put myself back together." "Then I'll help you." "Why?" The question was not angry, just tired. "Why now? Why not 8 years ago?" Marcus had known this conversation was coming, had been doctor-reading it, but she deserved an answer. Because 8 years ago I was a coward, he said. I was so afraid of failing that I ran from anything that looked like it might be hard. I thought success meant control, meant never being vulnerable, never needing anyone, and I built this life that looked perfect from the outside, but was empty inside. And now? Now I know that the only thing that matters is showing up, being present, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Elena's eyes filled with tears. I needed you to show up 8 years ago. I know. I was so scared and so alone, and you just left. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't give me back those years. No, it doesn't. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. Elena wiped her eyes. I want to believe you. Then believe me. They stood in the hallway. The fluorescent lights hummed. Somewhere a machine beeped. Somewhere someone laughed. I don't know if I can forgive you, Elena said. I'm not asking you to, not yet. I'm just asking you to let me try. She looked at him for a long time, then she nodded. Okay. They walked back to Lily's room, sat in their chairs, waited. On day 14, Dr. Patel came in with a smile. Her counts are up, he said. Elena stood so fast she almost knocked over her chair. What? Her white blood cell count, it's rising, the transplant is taking. Marcus felt his knees go weak. He sat down hard. She's going to be okay? Elena asked. It's still early, but this is a very good sign. A very, very good sign. Lily, who had been dozing, opened her eyes. Does that mean I can go home? Dr. Patel laughed. Not yet, but soon. If your counts keep rising and you don't develop any infections, we can start talking about discharge in a few weeks. Weeks? Lily groaned. I know, but you're doing amazing. Better than we hoped. After Dr. Patel left, Elena sat on the edge of Lily's bed and cried. Happy tears this time. Lily patted her head. It's okay, Mom, I'm okay. I know you are. Marcus stood and walked to the window, looked out at the city, the buildings, the cars, the people going about their lives, unaware that in this room, a miracle was happening. He pulled out his phone, opened his messages, scrolled to his assistant. I need you to do something for me, he typed. Set up a fund for families dealing with pediatric illness. I want to cover hospital bills, living expenses, whatever they need. I'll send you the details. His assistant replied immediately. How much are we talking? Marcus thought about it. Thought about the money sitting in his accounts, money he had spent years accumulating. Money that had never made him happy. 10 million to start, he typed. More if we need it. His assistant sent back 3 question marks. Just do it, Marcus typed. I'll explain later. He put his phone away, turned back to the room. Elena was watching him. What was that about? She asked. Nothing, just work. You're lying. I'm setting up a fund for families like us so they don't have to choose between being with their kid and paying rent. Elena stared at him. That's not nothing. It's the least I can do. Marcus, what? Thank you. He shook his head. Don't thank me. This should have existed already. I should have thought of it years ago. But you're thinking of it now. Yeah, I guess I am. Lily looked between them. Are you guys going to kiss? Lily. Elena's face went red. What? You're looking at each other all weird, Marcus laughed. We're not going to kiss. Why not? Because it's complicated. That word again, Lily said. I don't like that word. Me neither, Marcus admitted. The 3rd week was better. Lily's counts continued to rise. Her color came back. Her appetite returned. She started complaining about the hospital food, which the nurses said was a good sign. If she's complaining, she's healing, Brenda the nurse said. Lily was allowed to sit up for longer periods, to walk around the room with help, to take showers instead of sponge baths, small victories that felt enormous. Marcus's hip finally stopped aching. He could move without wincing. He started taking walks around the hospital, down to the cafeteria, out to the small courtyard where people went to smoke or cry or just breathe air that did not smell like disinfectant. One afternoon, he ran into another parent, a man about his age sitting on a bench, head in his hands. You okay? Marcus asked. The man looked up. His eyes were red. My son, he's got leukemia. We just found out the transplant didn't take. They're talking about trying again, but I don't know if he can survive another round. Marcus sat down beside him. I'm sorry. Are you here with someone? My daughter. She just had a transplant 2 weeks ago. It's looking good so far. That's great. That's really great. The man's voice cracked. I don't know how to do this, how to watch him suffer and not be able to fix it. You just do, Marcus said. You show up. You hold his hand. You let him know he's not alone. Is that enough? I don't know, but it's all we've got. They sat in silence. 2 fathers, 2 daughters, 2 different outcomes maybe, but the same fear. What's your name? Marcus asked. David. I'm Marcus. He pulled out his phone, opened his notes app, typed David's name. Give me your number. Why? Because I'm setting up a fund to help families like ours, and I want to make sure you're taken care of. David stared at him. I don't understand. You don't have to. Just give me your number. David did. Marcus saved it. Someone will call you in a few days, Marcus said. They'll help with bills, whatever you need. I can't accept that. You're not accepting it from me. You're accepting it for your son. David's eyes filled with tears. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just be there for him. Marcus went back inside, back to Lily's room. Elena was reading to her, some fantasy novel with a doctoragon on the cover. Lily was listening with her eyes closed, a small smile on her face. Marcus stood in the doorway and watched them. His family. He had a family. It still felt impossible. On day 21, Dr. Patel said the words they had been waiting for. You can go home, Lily screamed. Actually screamed. The nurses came running. Elena laughed and cried at the same time. Marcus felt something in his chest unclench that had been tight for weeks. Really? Lily asked. Really, really? Really, really, Dr. Patel said. You'll need to come back for checkups, weekly at first, then monthly, and you'll be on medication for a while. But your counts are good. Your body is accepting the transplant. You're ready. Lily looked at Elena. Can we get pizza? We can get anything you want. And ice cream? And ice cream. With extra sprinkles? With all the sprinkles. Lily turned to Marcus. Are you coming with us? Marcus looked at Elena. She looked back. Something passed between them, a question, an answer. If your mom says it's okay, Marcus said. It's okay, Elena said softly. Lily grinned. Then yes, you're coming. They discharged Lily the next morning. It took hours, paperwork, medication instructions, follow-up appointments, 100 doctored things to remember. Elena took notes. Marcus listened. Lily sat in a wheelchair, bouncing with impatience. Can we go now? She asked for the 10th time. Almost, Elena said. Finally, they were done. A nurse wheeled Lily to the entrance. Marcus had called a car, not his usual Dr. River. Just a regular car service, something normal. The car pulled up. Marcus helped Lily inside. Elena slid in beside her. Marcus took the front seat. Where to? The Dr. Ever asked. Elena gave him the ad doctorus. Marcus memorized it. They doctored through the city. Lily pressed her face to the window, watching everything like she had never seen it before. Maybe she had not. Not like this. Not as someone who was going to live. Look, there's the park, she said, and the library, and the place with the good donuts. We'll go to all of them, Elena said, when you're stronger. I'm strong now. I know, but let's take it slow. They pulled up to an apartment building. Old but well-maintained. Marcus got out and helped Lily. She was unsteady on her feet. He offered his arm. She took it. They went inside. Up 3 flights of stairs because the elevator was broken. Elena apologized. Marcus said it was fine. Lily was breathing hard by the time they reached the 3rd floor. Elena unlocked the door. They went inside. The apartment was small. A living room that doubled as a dining room. A kitchen with barely enough space for 2 people. 2 doctor rooms. 1 bathroom. But it was clean. Warm. Lived in. Home, Lily said. She walked to the couch and collapsed onto it. I missed you, couch. Elena laughed. I'll make lunch. Lily, what do you want? Grilled cheese. You got it. Elena went to the kitchen. Marcus stood in the living room looking around. There were pictures on the walls. Lily as a baby. Lily as a toddler. Lily at school. Lily at the park. A whole life he had missed. You can sit down, Lily said. Marcus sat in the armchair across from her. How does it feel to be home? Good. Weird. I keep waiting for a nurse to come in and take my blood. No more blood Dr. Oz for a while. Good. I hate needles. Me too. They sat in comfortable silence. From the kitchen came the sound of butter sizzling in a pan, the smell of bread toasting. Normal sounds, normal smells. Lily looked at him. Are you going to stay? Do you want me to? Yeah. Then I'll stay. What about your job? I'm taking time off. How much time? As much as I need. Lily smiled. Good. Elena brought out lunch. Grilled cheese cut into triangles, apple slices, juice boxes. They ate on the couch, plates balanced on their laps. It was the best meal Marcus had ever had. After lunch, Lily fell asleep. Elena covered her with a blanket. She's exhausted, Elena said. The next few weeks are going to be hard. She'll need a lot of rest. I'll help, Marcus said. You don't have to. I want to. Elena looked at him. Where are you staying? A hotel, near the hospital. That's expensive. I can afford it. I know, but... She hesitated. There's a place 2 blocks from here. A small house. It's been for sale for a while. The owner's motivated. If you're serious about staying, you could buy it. Be close. Marcus felt something warm spread through his chest. You want me close? Lily wants you close, and what Lily wants, Lily gets. And what do you want? Elena was quiet for a long time. I want to believe this is real, that you're not going to wake up one day and realize you made a mistake. I'm not going anywhere, Elena. You said that before. I know, and I broke that promise. But I'm different now. People don't change. Maybe not, but they can grow. They can learn. I'm learning. Elena looked at Lily, asleep on the couch. She loves you already. If you leave again, it will break her. I won't leave. You can't promise that. Yes, I can. I'm promising it right now. I'm not leaving. Not her, not you. Elena's eyes filled with tears. I want to believe you. Then believe me. She wiped her eyes. The house. I'll send you the listing. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. It needs work. A lot of work. I like projects. Elena smiled. Just a little. I remember. Marcus stayed until evening. He helped Elena unpack the medications, set up a schedule for Lily's pills, made a list of follow-up appointments, normal things, domestic things, things he had never done before but found he liked doing. When it was time to go, Lily woke up. You're leaving? She asked. Just for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. Promise? Promise? Pinky promise? He linked his pinky with hers. Pinky promise. Okay, she settled back into the couch. Bring donuts tomorrow. What kind? Chocolate with sprinkles? You got it. He left, walked down the 3 flights of stairs, out into the evening air. The city was loud, cars honking, people talking, music from somewhere, life happening. He pulled out his phone, looked at the listing Elena had sent. The house was small, 2 doctor rooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen that had not been updated since the 90s, a backyard that was mostly weeds. It was perfect. He called his real estate agent. I need you to make an offer, he said. On what? He gave her the ad doctorus. Let me look it up. A pause. Marcus, this place is a dump. I don't care. Make an offer, full asking price, cash. I want to close as soon as possible. Are you serious? Completely. Okay, I'll doctor up the paperwork. He hung up, looked back at the apartment building, at the window on the 3rd floor where a light was on, where his daughter was, where Elena was, where home was. If this story is touching your heart, doctor up a comment telling me what you'd sacrifice for the people you love. Let's build a community of real ones. The offer was accepted the next day. Marcus met with the real estate agent and signed papers. The house was his. He could move in immediately. He went to the apartment with donuts, chocolate with sprinkles, as requested. Lily ate too and got frosting on her nose. Elena made coffee. They sat around the small kitchen table like a family. I bought the house, Marcus said. Elena looked up. Already? Cash offer. The seller was motivated. When do you move in? Today if I want, but there's no furniture, no appliances. It's basically empty. So buy furniture. I don't know how. Elena laughed. You run a multi-billion-dollar company, but you don't know how to buy furniture? I always hired people to do it. Of course you did, she shook her head. Okay, I'll help you. Really? Really. Lily needs to rest anyway. We can go this afternoon. So they did. They left Lily with Elena's sister, who had come over to help, Marcus and Elena Doktorov to a furniture store on the edge of town, a big box store with fluorescent lights and aisles that went on forever. I hate these places, Elena said. Me too. Then why are we here? Because it's cheap and fast and I need a bed tonight. They walked through the store, picked out a bed, a couch, a kitchen table, chairs, lamps, towels, sheets, all the things that make a house a home. At the checkout, the total came to just under $3,000. Marcus handed over his credit card without blinking. The cashier looked at the name on the card and did a double take. Are you Marcus Chen? The Marcus Chen? Yes. Oh my God, my boyfriend loves your company. He's always talking about your business model and your growth strategy and… She stopped. Sorry, I'm rambling. It's fine, Marcus said. Can I get a picture? Marcus looked at Elena. She shrugged. Sure, he said. The cashier came around the counter, took a selfie with him, thanked him about a dozen times. Marcus smiled and nodded and felt like a fraud. In the car, Elena was quiet. What? Marcus asked. Nothing? It's not nothing. It's just weird, seeing you like that. The famous billionaire. I forget sometimes. I'm not that person anymore. Yes, you are. You're just also this person, the one buying furniture at a discount store. I like this person better. Me too. They Doktorov to the house. The delivery truck was already there. Marcus tipped the delivery guys and they brought everything inside, set up the bed, assembled the table. It took hours. By the time they were done, it was evening. Elena looked around. It's not much. It's enough. You're really going to live here? I really am. She walked to the window, looked out at the street. I'm 2 blocks that way. I know. Lily's going to be here all the time. Good. Elena turned to face him. What are we doing, Marcus? What do you mean? This. You buying a house 2 blocks away, playing family? What is this? Marcus took a breath. I don't know. I just know I want to be here, close to Lily, close to you. And when you get bored, when the novelty wears off, it won't. You don't know that. You're right, I don't. But I'm willing to find out. Elena crossed her arms. I can't do this again. Get my hopes up. Let Lily get attached, and then have you leave. I'm not going to leave. You keep saying that, because it's true. Prove it. How? I don't know, just prove it. Marcus stepped closer. I will, every day, for as long as it takes. Elena looked at him. Her eyes were wet. I'm scared. Me too. What if this doesn't work? What if it does? She laughed. It was a broken sound. You always were an optimist. No, I wasn't, but I'm trying to be. They stood in the empty living room. The sun was setting. Orange light streamed through the windows. Dust motes floated in the air. I should go, Elena said. Lily will be wondering where I am. Okay. Thank you. For today. For helping. Any time. She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. Marcus? Yeah? I'm glad you're here. And then she was gone. Marcus stood in his new house, his empty house, and smiled. The next few weeks fell into a rhythm. Marcus woke up early, went for a run, showered, walked to Elena's apartment, had breakfast with Lily, helped with her medications, read to her, played games with her, made her laugh. Elena went back to work. Part-time at first, she was a graphic designer, freelance. She worked from home when she could, but sometimes she had to go into the office. On those days, Marcus stayed with Lily. He learned how to make her favorite foods. Macaroni and cheese with the powder, chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs, peanut butter and jelly with the crust cut off. He learned which movies she liked, which books, which songs. He learned that she was afraid of thunderstorms but pretended she was not, that she had nightmares sometimes and needed someone to sit with her until she fell back asleep, that she liked to doctor-awe when she was anxious, that she hummed when she was happy. He learned how to be a father. It was not easy. There were days when Lily was in pain and there was nothing he could do. Days when she was angry at the world and took it out on him. Days when she cried and said she hated being sick and hated the hospital and hated everything. On those days, Marcus held her, let her scream, let her cry, and when she was done, he was still there. "I'm sorry," she would say. "You don't have to be sorry. I'm being mean. You're being human. I don't like being human. Me neither, but we're stuck with it." She would laugh, and the storm would pass. Lily's checkups were weekly at first, then every 2 weeks, then monthly. Each time, Dr. Patel said the same thing. "She's doing great. The transplant is holding, her counts are good." Each time, Marcus felt like he could breathe a little easier. He started working on the house, painting walls, fixing the leaky faucet in the bathroom, pulling weeds in the backyard. He was terrible at all of it, but he kept trying. Elena came over sometimes to help. She was better at it than he was. She knew how to use a doctorill, how to patch doctory wall, how to make a garden bed. "Where did you learn all this?" Marcus asked. "YouTube," she said, "and necessity. When you're a single mom, you learn to do everything yourself." "I'm sorry you had to do it alone." "I wasn't alone. I had my sister and friends and Lily. We were okay. But it would have been easier with help." "Maybe, but I'm stronger because I did it myself." Marcus looked at her. Paint splattered on her shirt, hair tied back in a messy bun, dirt under her fingernails. She was beautiful. "What?" she asked. "Nothing, just, you're amazing." She rolled her eyes. "Don't be cheesy." "I'm serious." "I know, that's what makes it cheesy." But she was smiling. One Saturday, they took Lily to the park. It was her first real outing since the transplant. She was nervous, excited. She wore a mask because her immune system was still fragile, but she did not care. She just wanted to be outside. They walked slowly. Lily held Marcus's hand on one side, Elena's on the other. They found a bench in the sun, sat, watched people, dogs, birds. "I missed this," Lily said. "Missed what?" Elena asked. "Everything. The sky, the trees, the smell of grass. I didn't realize how much I missed it until now." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "We can come back any time you want." "Really?" "Really?" Lily leaned her head on his shoulder. "I love you, Dad." It was the first time she had called him that. Dad. Not Marcus. Dad. He looked at Elena. She was crying, smiling and crying at the same time. "I love you too, Lily," he said. His voice cracked. "So much." They sat in the sun, a family, imperfect, broken in places, but together. And that was enough. If you're still watching, you're the real MVP. Hit that subscribe button because this family story is about to get even more beautiful. 3 months after the transplant, Dr. Patel declared Lily in remission. The word felt like a miracle, like a door opening, like light after a long darkness. They celebrated with pizza and ice cream and a cake that Elena made that was lopsided but delicious. Lily blew out the candles and made a wish. "What did you wish for?" Marcus asked. "I can't tell you. It won't come true." "Fair enough." Later, when Lily was asleep, Marcus and Elena sat on the porch of his house. It was a warm night, the kind where the air feels like a blanket. "Thank you," Elena said. "For what?" "For showing up. For staying, for being here." "You don't have to thank me." "Yes, I do. You saved her life." "We saved her life." Elena looked at him. "I think I'm ready." "Ready for what?" "To forgive you." Marcus felt something shift in his chest. "Yeah?" "Yeah, I'm not saying I'm over it, I'm not saying it doesn't still hurt, but I'm ready to let it go, to move forward." "What does that look like?" "I don't know, but I think we figure it out together." Marcus reached for her hand. She let him take it. "I'd like that," he said. They sat in the dark, holding hands, not saying anything, not needing to. The fund Marcus had set up was growing. His assistant had hired a team to manage it. They were helping families all over the city, paying medical bills, covering rent, providing meals, making it possible for parents to be with their sick childoctorin without losing everything. Marcus visited some of the families, met the kids, heard their stories. It broke his heart and put it back together at the same time. One afternoon, he met a little boy named Sam, 6 years old, leukemia. His parents were immigrants. They spoke broken English. They worked 3 jobs between them. They were exhausted, terrified. Marcus sat with them, listened, told them about Lily, about the transplant, about hope. "We can't afford the treatment," the father said. "The insurance, it doesn't cover everything. We're trying, but it's covered," Marcus said. "What?" "The fund will cover it, all of it. You just focus on Sam." The mother started crying. The father shook Marcus's hand so hard it hurt. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you. Thank you." Marcus left feeling like he had finally done something that mattered. He told Elena about it that night. "You're a good man," she said. "I'm trying to be." "You are." He looked at her. "I want to do more. I want to expand the fund, go national, help as many families as we can." "That's a big undertaking." "I know, but I have the resources and the time. I'm not going back to the company, not full time. I'm stepping down." Elena's eyes went wide. "What?" "I'm stepping down as CEO. I'll stay on the board, but I'm done with the day-to-day. I want to focus on this, on the fund, on Lily, on us." "Marcus, that's your company. You built it. And now I'm building something else." "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything." Elena stared at him. Then she kissed him. It was sudden, unexpected, and perfect. When she pulled back, she was smiling. "What was that for?" Marcus asked. "For being you." "I'll take it." They kissed again, longer this time, and Marcus thought that maybe, just maybe, everything was going to be okay. The announcement that Marcus was stepping down as CEO made headlines. Business journals called it shocking. Investors were nervous. The stock dipped. Marcus did not care. He did interviews, explained his decision, talked about Lily, about the fund, about what really mattered. Some people understood, some people did not. Marcus stopped reading the comments. He focused on what was in front of him: Lily's recovery, the fund, his relationship with Elena. They were taking it slow, dating, sort of. Except they had a kid together, so it was not exactly traditional. They went to dinner, to movies, to the park. They held hands. They kissed. They talked about the future. "What do you want?" Elena asked one night. "What do you mean?" "Long term, what do you want?" Marcus thought about it. "I want this. You. Lily. A life that means something." "That's vague." "Okay, I want to wake up next to you. I want to have breakfast with Lily. I want to help families who are going through what we went through. I want to grow old and boring and happy." Elena smiled. "That sounds nice. What do you want?" "The same. But I also want a garden, a big one, with tomatoes and herbs and flowers." "We can do that. And a dog." "A dog?" "Lily's been asking for one." Okay, a dog. And maybe, eventually, if things keep going well, maybe we could. I don't know. Get married?" Marcus's heart stopped. "Are you proposing to me?" "No. Maybe. I don't know." "Forget I said anything." "Elena." "What?" "I would marry you tomorrow if you'd let me." She looked at him. "Really?" "Really. But we just started dating again." "I know, but I've wasted enough time. I don't want to waste any more." Elena was quiet. Then she said, "Ask me again in 6 months." "Okay." "If we're still good, if Lily's still healthy, if you haven't changed your mind." "I won't change my mind. Ask me in 6 months." "Deal." They shook on it. Then they kissed, and Marcus started counting down the days. 6 months later, on a Saturday morning, Marcus woke up early. He made breakfast: pancakes, bacon, fresh fruit. He set the table, put flowers in a vase, waited. Elena and Lily came over. They did that most weekends now, spent the day together, like a family. "What's all this?" Elena asked. "Breakfast. I can see that. But why?" "Because it's been 6 months. Elena's eyes went wide. "Oh. Oh?" Lily looked between them. "Oh, what?" Marcus got down on one knee, pulled out a ring, a simple band with a small diamond. Nothing flashy, just right. "Elena, I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But you gave me a second chance, and I'm not going to waste it. I love you. I love Lily. I want to spend the rest of my life proving that I'm worthy of you both. Will you marry me?" Elena's eyes filled with tears. "Yes." "Yes?" "Yes, you idiot." "Yes." Marcus slipped the ring on her finger, stood, kissed her. Lily cheered. "Does this mean you're going to live with us?" Lily asked. "If that's okay with you," Marcus said. "It's very okay." They ate breakfast, made plans, talked about the future. It was the best morning of Marcus's life. The wedding was small. Just family and close friends. They got married in the backyard of Marcus's house. The garden Elena had planted was in full bloom, tomatoes and herbs and flowers everywhere. Lily was the flower girl. She took her job very seriously. Threw petals with precision. Elena wore a simple white doctoress. Marcus wore a suit. They said their vows, promised to love each other, to show up, to stay. When the officiant said, "You may kiss the bride," Marcus did. And everyone cheered. At the reception, Lily gave a speech. "I'm really glad my mom married Marcus," she said, "because now I have a dad, and he's pretty cool, even though he's bad at doctor-awing." Everyone laughed. Marcus wiped his eyes. They danced, ate cake, celebrated, and when the sun set, they stood together. Marcus, Elena, Lily, a family. "I like our life," Lily said. "Me too," Marcus said. "Me three," Elena added. They stood in the garden, the lights strung overhead, the smell of flowers in the air, and Marcus thought about how close he had come to missing this, to missing everything. But he had not missed it. He had shown up, he had stayed, and he had been given a second chance. Not everyone gets that. He knew how lucky he was. A year later, they got a call from the social worker. There were 2 kids, siblings. They needed a home. Just temporary. A few weeks, maybe a month. Marcus and Elena looked at each other. "We have the space," Elena said. "Lily would love it," Marcus added. "So we're doing this?" "I think we are." They said yes. The kids arrived on a Tuesday. A boy and a girl, 8 and 6, scared, quiet, carrying everything they owned in garbage bags. Lily showed them around. Showed them their room, told them the house rules, made them feel welcome. That night, Marcus and Elena tucked them in. "Are you going to send us away?" the boy asked. "Not if we can help it," Elena said. "Do you promise?" "We promise to do our best." The boy nodded, seemed satisfied. Marcus and Elena went downstairs, sat on the couch, looked at each other. "What did we just do?" Elena asked. "I think we just became foster parents." "Are we crazy?" "Probably. But it feels right." "Yeah, it does." The kids stayed for a month, then 2, then 6, and then the social worker called and said the parents had lost custody. The kids needed a permanent home. Marcus and Elena did not hesitate. They adopted them. The day the adoption was finalized, they all went to the courthouse, signed papers, took pictures, became a family, officially. Lily was thrilled. She had always wanted siblings. The boy, whose name was Daniel, was quiet but kind. The girl, whose name was Sophie, was loud and funny and reminded Marcus of his sister. They were a family, messy, complicated, but full of love. Marcus thought about the man he used to be, the one who ran from anything hard, the one who thought success meant control. That man was gone. In his place was someone who knew that the best things in life are the ones you fight for, the ones you show up for, the ones you choose every single day. He had a wife, 3 kids, a house with a garden, a fund that was helping hundreds of families. He had a life that meant something, and he had almost missed it, but he had not. He had answered the call, he had shown up, he had stayed, and that, he thought, was the greatest success of all. If this story moved you, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, because stories like this are what we're all about. Doctor up a comment and tell me what's the greatest sacrifice you've ever made for love. Years later, when people asked Marcus for advice, he told them he had none. Advice was a sticker you put on something and called it repaired. He had stories. He had a hospital room where he learned to be still. He had a kitchen table with pencil marks from homework, and candle wax from a blackout, and crumbs from a cake that had not risen properly and had been devoured anyway. He had a garden where the tomatoes grew as if they believed in something better than statistics. He had a porch with a squeaky board that Lily refused to let him fix. He had a house with 5 toothbrushes and a timeline of growth penciled on a doorframe they would never paint over. He had a name that used to open doors and now opened his chest. He had a daughter who had taught him to race toward sweetness even when your breath is short. He had chill doctrine, who arrived by need and stayed by choice. He had a woman whose forgiveness was neither a transaction nor a performance, but the quiet decision to keep step with him into evenings where the light made their shadows fall behind them like history. If he could go back, he would not erase the leaving. Not because it had been right, but because the man who returned had made a different kind of promise and learned how to hold it. He would whisper into his younger ear that love is not something you own, but something you tend. He would tell him the truth. That someday you will be asked for something only you can give, and your answer will be the version of yourself you live with for the rest of your days. And then he would let the past be the past and come home for dinner.